I'm going to talk about today is so basic it should be obvious. But since I have been going through a time where I struggled with seeing it myself, I figure why not make a video about it, because somebody else might find this useful. And the thing that I want to talk about is the ways in which art or creating art makes us happy. And knowing that is especially important when you go through like a time or a rut where you don't really experience the joy of creating art anymore. Like if we take me as an example, I would say that I like creating art in general. I don't really believe in the image of the tortured artist, and even if I did believe in it, that's not what I want to be. So yeah, for me it's all about the joy and happiness of making art. That's what I'm after. And usually, or in general, I would say that that's the case. But lately I've had the experience that I went through an art making session without really feeling anything. I mean, literally nothing at all. It didn't make me happy or sad. It was just, I did it and then I was done. And I didn't feel anything during the making or after. I'm thinking, okay, what's wrong? And like I started wondering whether I just enjoyed making art when I was a kid, or if I'm just too consumed with other things that are going on in my life that I don't really enjoy the process anymore. And I started thinking about all those things. But then I'm thinking, okay, let's just take a step back and start at the very basics. And for me, that's figuring out what's exactly the thing that I like about making art. In which way does it make me happy? So I kind of brainstormed a little bit about the ways in which art can make any of us happy. And I came up with 6 ways, which I'm going to share. So the first way in which art makes me or anyone happy is the concept of flow. It's this state of being in the zone and creating, and you forget time. You don't realize if you're hungry or tired or whatever. You're just there creating your thing. You're not looking left to right. You don't care if anything is happening on the internet and you need to check your social media all the time. All of this is just not important when you're in a state of flow. And that is just like a big thing for me. That's why this is like the first thing that came to mind. And it doesn't even have to be art. It could be anything. It could be just any type of work or any activity that you do. You could find yourself in a state of flow where everything else just blurs out and you're just focused on what you're doing. But it's not something where you're super focused on the outcome. It's kind of like a Zen state too. So you're not preoccupied with anything. You're not preoccupied with how will this turn out in the end. You're just doing your thing. For me, that's a beautiful thing to find myself in. It's a beautiful state to be in. And so flow, that's the first one. So the second way in which art makes us happy when we're creating art is the feeling of learning something. So it's related to this feeling that we're getting better at something that we're developing. And it's like an effort-driven reward. The knowledge that we're getting better, and it's even like a thing of instant gratification. I mean, it's not super instant in some cases. Sometimes it takes a while. But if you sit down every day for like a week and draw something and really focus on a specific thing, surely you'll get better at it. Of course, the learning curve is a little steeper in the beginning, and then, as you get better and better and better, it'll take more and more time for you to actually see the improvements, but still it's there. And I guess once you're at a really, really high level, you kind of appreciate even the little details where you're getting better. And you've already had this, so now you can still appreciate this and you don't have to be frustrated that way. But that's a big thing. Feeling like we're getting better at something, that's surely something that will make us happy when we're creating art. The third way is kind of related to the second way, and it is capturing your vision on paper or canvas or whatever you're working on. You have a vision and you're getting whatever you're doing is close to that initial vision. So that will be something that is very frustrating when you're a beginning artist and what you're doing is not at all what you imagined it would look like. But once you get better, you get to that where you're actually proud, or even sometimes you excel whatever it is that you envision, and you're like, oh, I have this kind of an idea, I'm not really sure if it's working, and then once it's finished, it's better than you imagined before. Definitely something to look forward to and something to enjoy and be happy about when creating. The fourth way is self-expression and exploration. It's just feeling all your feelings and getting them down on paper and, into your artwork. I'm referring a lot to visual arts, but this is obviously much broader. You could, if you're a musician, that's definitely something that's applicable to you too. It's just like, you're creating something and you're expressing yourself and your feelings, your emotions. Definitely a source for happiness. If you can do that and you can just, even if it's like a sad feeling, you can put it down on paper and you can, get some happiness out of that. And then I would also say that exploration is like the same thing, because while you're creating, maybe there's more that, comes to mind as you're working on it. So you're exploring something, and it can be self-exploration. It can be just delving deeper into whatever feeling it is that's driving your creation at that time. Or, it could be also exploration of other things. Maybe you're working on something and you're feeling, oh, it's missing something, and you maybe seek inspiration from outside just to put that into your artwork as well. And, all of these things, self-expression and exploration, it be self-exploration or exploration of, whatever's around you, all of these things that can contribute to your joy and happiness when creating. Okay, so the fifth way that I thought of is kind of related to the first one where I talked about flow, except this is really about mindfulness, about reducing stress, about meditating basically. Just calm down. It could be very simple, like coloring into a coloring book or doodling maybe, and just do that. Or it could be just working on a larger piece and just, calm and meditative, reducing stress that way and just detaching from whatever it is that's consuming your mind that day and that makes you stress about things, and a break from reality, so to speak. And so the sixth way is basically comes after the creation. I put it here because I think this is important too, and it's about delighting someone else. So if you're enjoying yourself during the process or even after because you're proud of your work or whatever, it's always nice to just, have someone in mind that you could give your artwork to, like if that's a thing for you. So for me, that's definitely something. If I can give my artwork to someone or someone appreciates it through any way, just by looking at it, maybe they won't own it, but maybe they see it and it makes their day happier for just 10 seconds, whatever. That's just something, a point of happiness for me for when I'm creating art, and I'm sure it is for you too, because that's always nice to be appreciated for the things that you do. So those were the 6 ways that I could come up with in which art or creating art makes us happy. And now your job, because I can't give you a recipe for how to get there, but your job would be to sit down and ask yourself, so which one of these or which ones of these are actually important to me? Because for me, I never really did the meditation thing. Like for me, I'm always very concentrated, like very focused on learning something. And I really also enjoy the state of flow, as I said. That's why that was the first one that came to mind when I made the list. But like just meditating, I don't really love that. But I mean, I do portraits, but I don't like drawing hair. Because for me, hair would be, I don't know, there's it's like I mess up the nose, everyone will tell. If I mess up a strand of hair, which takes a long, getting better is important. And for me, the state of flow is important. So the thing that I derive from that is that for me, coming home after work and sketching for like 10 or 20 minutes and then doing something else doesn't really do it for me. Maybe it'll help the learning part, because if you do that every day, surely you can work on something. So for like my evening doodles, I should have a clear goal on what I want to improve that day. Otherwise, for me, just mindless doodling doesn't really do anything for me. And I think that's what I've been trying to do lately, but I haven't really focused on getting better. But surely in 10 or 20 minutes, you can't really get into the state of flow. So for me, the other thing that would be important to do is take some time on a day off, like on the weekend, where I can literally just start without having the end already clean mind, where I don't know, oh, okay, in 1 hour I have this appointment and I need to stop then. If I can just sit down open-ended, that for me is where I can get into the flow. And I know this is different for everyone, because I know people who, if they have a certain time span, they can get laser focused and that's all they need, and then they can get to work. So this is why it's different for every person, and I can give you advice on what to do. So your job is now to see, okay, which are the ways in which art makes me happy, if you're struggling with any of this, and then kind of come up with a plan. And it's really about self-awareness, and you do your homework at this point and try to figure it out for yourself. So I really hope that this video was helpful for anyone. And that's it. That's it. That's an awkward way to end the video, but I'm just going to do that.